Hey guys, Dylan from Noble Records coming at you with another video. So every year, at the beginning of the year, a list of questions floats around the vinyl community, and everybody that has a vinyl related channel on YouTube will hop on and answer 20 questions. So I love doing it every year. I've participated every year that I've had a channel, and I definitely always will. I love Vinyl Tag. What I love about it is that if you're like in a spot with your YouTube channel where you just kind of can't think of anything good, you just got kind of like a drought of ideas up there, you can just jump on. It's a no-brainer. Also, people that are kind of like thinking about doing a YouTube channel and they're not really sure what to do it about or what, it's a great introduction to who you are. A lot of people get started doing the vinyl tag. So I'm a big proponent of the vinyl tag. I love it. It was one of the first videos I ever did was a vinyl tag. So if you're in that spot to where you're thinking about starting a channel, I would encourage it. It's just I've met so many people through YouTube and other channels and all that stuff. It's been great for me personally. So if you want to start a channel, this is a good time to do it and a good way to start it. So the vinyl tag, I've got some good records to show you for the vinyl tag, but here are the questions. I'll put the questions in the description of my video. Rob Walker made the list. He has a YouTube channel as well. So here are the questions. Number one is a favorite record that you purchased in 2023. I've talked about this ad nauseum. This is my Led Zeppelin 1 test pressing. I've talked about it too much. So that's my favorite record I purchased. The last record you purchased in 2023 is this. This is called Sightground, Psychedelic and Underground Music. This is in the running for best record I found all year, and I found it like right after I did my top finds of the year. So I probably put it in the top finds of next year, but this is just a crazy psychedelic library record. It's one of the rarest library records and one of the rarest psychedelic records in the world. It is fantastic, super. I never thought I'd have one. But I met a guy and he had it and he was selling it and we made a deal, and I've actually bought a couple more records from him here. I bought one from him tonight actually. So nice to meet new people and all that stuff, but this is an absolute crazy psychedelic grail. This is amazing. Original press is from Italy and is out of this world psychedelic mind-bending stuff. Number three is a band or singer that released 2 or more albums in the same year. So I try to do some that maybe nobody else would do, because a lot of the vinyl tag videos, you know, they might do a lot of the same answers. I try to do something that only I could do. So this is a band called Charmer. This Illusion Records is what they call a tax scam label from the 70s. They did 2 records, Charmer, Do It To It and Your Presence Requested. This is the rarer of the 2, but they're both really rare. This one right here is heavier. It's like really crazy early 70s sound and hard rock stuff. And basically both of these records were released in 1977. As it being a tax scam label type thing, not sure when this stuff was recorded, not even sure who's on it and all that stuff. I know some of the members of like the guy that owns the guy that owned the label was in Blues Image. It's a long story, but both of these are crazy and super rare and really cool records, and I found them both this year. So trifecta there. The next one, my computer keeps going dead here. Next one is if you could if you could only listen to music from one decade, which decade would you choose? That is an impossible thing to choose. It really is. But if I had to, it would be the 70s. So I tried to pick a record for every entry, but this is just the record I pulled out. Samuel Prodi. It's a amazing record, but yeah, it's a 1971 incredible proggy hard rock type thing. But the 70s for me, you know, you've got that the 60s kind of built up to it for like the hard rock and the funk and you know, the jazz. If you're into jazz, you'd have to be in the late 50s, you know. But there's some good stuff in the 60s obviously, but all the best jazz is tail end of 50s. But for me, two of my favorite genres are hard rock and funk, and both of those, their best decade was the 70s. If I had to pick, if you had made me, gun to my head, 70s would be it. But I love music from all decades. It's hard to say. Show a band. So the number 5 was show a record by a band or singer from Manchester. I'm sure if I went through, I could pick out somebody like the Smiths or something. I just couldn't think of anything right off the bat, so I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this one just, somebody that's local, just a local musician. So that's how I kind of pivoted this question, because I think Rob might be, I don't know. I think he might be from Manchester, but I'm not sure. Anyways, I did this one. This is Christopher. What you gonna do? I got this. I think I either got this. I think I the last couple of weeks of last year. So this one is a super rare one from South Carolina. I'm in North Carolina, but these guys used to play at a club in Matthews, which is where my shop is, all the time. And it was a club called Phantasmagoria. I don't know much about the club other than it had a crazy cool name, and a bunch of psychedelic acts used to play there in like the late 60s. Would love to know more if anybody knows anything more about it, but this is just a cool one from around us. This says, which band, number 6 is, which band or singer did you listen to the most of in 2023? That's always hard for me because I don't really ever stick to one. I am always listening to different stuff. I rarely get stuck on something, which is kind of, I don't know, say what you will. I listened to a lot of Zeppelin this year because I got the road case and I've been breaking it in this year. I've gotten a lot of really cool rare Zeppelin records that I've always wanted this year. So anyways, it's probably Zeppelin, but I didn't want to choose Zeppelin. But the record I've listened to maybe the most is this Magic Ship record. We did an exclusive of this. I'm not trying to push my exclusives, but we did one, and there's still I think 30 copies on my website. So it's almost sold out, but I love this record so much. I got this early in the year, and then I reached out to Garrison, who owns the rights, and I just said, hey, are you guys going to repress Magic Ship anytime soon? And they're like, yeah, we are. And so I've teamed up with them to do an exclusive because it's so good. When I first got it, I listened to it nonstop. Then I listened to it several times throughout the year, obviously. And then when we got the exclusive, Logan at the shop loves it. So anytime I'm in the shop, we both can agree on Magic Ship. We listen to it nonstop. We love it. We sold a ton of copies just by people coming in and saying, hey, what's that? It's Magic Ship. So this is a first press in the shrink. Beautiful, beautiful, tip-top copy of Magic Ship. That's probably the record I've listened to, or one of them that I've listened to the most. So number 7 is show 7 inches. So I'm not ever really been that into 7 inches. If I find something really cool that you can't get on LP, I will get the 7 inch. But this is a really cool one called Cerebrum. I got this recently, early 70s. I think it's South American. I believe. I could be totally wrong. I think it's South American. But that's really cool. Zior. It's one of theirs. This one is the original Gary Del Vecchio Buzzin' single, and it is in that. It's just a white sleeve, but it's signed by Gary Del Vecchio. This is a South American joint by a band called Enigma, and it is amazing. Out of this world, super heavy. There was an LP with the same cover, also very good. This is an interesting cover of Fleetwood Mac, Oh Well. This is like a German picture sleeve. This is one called Phoenix. It's a band, super, super heavy. A lot of Hendrix influence on this, but pretty rare, super heavy stuff. And then this one, a good friend of mine owns Ancient Grease Records. And we're always trading stuff back and forth as far as test pressings and stuff like that, because I love his label, and I'm sure he's been very supportive of mine. But he didn't give me this, actually. I bought it from somebody else in a collection, which is crazy. But this is they goofed up on one of the 7 inches they did, so it was orange. the Sun, that track. So there's supposed to be a different track on the B side, but they didn't have it ever done. So he did like a picture. So this is 1 out of 10 test pressing of that track that was just on that one side. The other side's unplayable. So that's just kind of cool. It's something that's cool, personal to me, because I love his label. Okay, so the number 8 was, who's coming to your party? Choose 4 music-related people to come to an imaginary dinner party, past, present. Who would you invite? So I tried to pick records to represent these people because you guys like seeing records. And I thought this would be a fun conversation between all 5 of us, me and these other 4 people. The number one, I would love to sit and talk to Townes Van Zandt and pick his brain. The late, great Townes Van Zandt. I talk about him all the time. He's somebody who's curious to me. The way his brain worked is just like nobody ever. He's absolutely brilliant. Light and Hopkins. I think Muddy Waters, I always said, was my favorite. Light and Hopkins lately, as I've gotten older, has been my favorite. I think he was a really interesting person. I think he had a great life story. I think he would be interesting. And then Jim Sullivan. Would love to know what happened to this dude. If you know the story, he made this like crazy psychedelic acid folk type of record called UFO, and then which is technically this record, but this record they put it on Century City, and then excuse me. And then changed the album artwork, and then they changed some of the mix or something on it. So anyways, this is the same album, but the first pressing is like mega rare. That's tip top of my want list. Probably never get one. But anyways, all that to say, he recorded this album, and then I think he did another one. And then he was driving out to Nashville from the West Coast, and he got caught somewhere, and they found his car and all his stuff in it, and his body was never found. Nobody ever heard from him again. There were some really weird things that happened around his disappearance, and no one is the cases remain unsolved. But he was a great, really cool, interesting. It would be cool. And then the last one is Jimi Hendrix. Jimi Hendrix. I don't talk about Jimi Hendrix enough. I think because I assume everybody hears about Jimi Hendrix all the time, but Jimi Hendrix, when I was a kid, was just one of my idols, and still, he is. The way that his brain worked was incredible. He was an innovator, amazing player. So number 9, we lost him. Choose one musician that passed away in 2023. All these answers are just the first thing that came to mind. And that was Vic Virgin of Toad. He's the lead singer and guitar player and driving force behind Toad. You guys know this is one of my absolute favorite records of all time. I love this album, Toad. It's incredible. I haven't talked about it in a while, but I feel like I've talked about it too much. But it is an absolute mind melter. But Vic Virgin was an incredible, and I think really underrated guitar player. He passed away in January. R.I.P. Great player. Number 10. Imagine you could only listen to music from one country. Which country would you choose? Now, I love some UK stuff. All right, so first I thought, well, if I'm ever going to listen to Zeppelin again, which is my favorite band of all time, I have to go with England. But there's so much other music, Sure, Zeppelin's my favorite, but jazz, blues, think about it. I mean, I'm not just biased because I live here. There was blues in all other countries and all that stuff, but really that deep blues, really kind of started here. And the jazz, the whole jazz scene, late 50s jazz, and influenced the jazz and blues influenced the rest of the world and the U.S. So there's so much cool, there's great U.S. bands. I think the classic rock bands, I think that, the U.K. has better classic rock music. I will definitely agree with that. But talking about music as a whole, I really think I would want to listen to music from the States. It's just so much more music. There's much more to choose from, and just the most quintessential stuff I feel like is in the U.S. Now, granted, you had the Beatles, which absolutely changed the world forever. You got Led Zeppelin, a ton of others, but those two are kind of like oh man, that's kind of hard to say. But for me, there's so much great music that came out of the U.S. I'd have to go with the States. That's just me. And I love psychedelic stuff. And I think that there's some great UK psych, but I really love the US psych stuff. Anyways, fight it out in the comment section. But this is the one I chose. I just got this. So I was going to say, with the United States stuff, this is just an incredible Blue Note. Kenny Dorham just got this. Super excited about it. First press. But, that Blue Note jazz, it's just that. Name 3 vinyl community channels that you discovered in 2023. Now, I don't remember when I discovered Vinyl Reckoning, but I think it was in 2023. But Vinyl Reckoning is a couple of just sweetheart people. And they came to my shop and did a video on the shop, and I met them there. And then since then, I think that was earlier in the year. It might have been last year, I can't remember. But since then, I've just gotten to know them really well. Huge supporters of the channel, buy all the exclusives. Very, very, very nice, sweet people, and their videos are really fun. Like, I look at people like that, like their videos are much more produced and better than mine, and they deserve more followers. So yes, follow them. Vinyl Reckoning, I love them. And then let's see, Permanent Records. So my friend Lance over at Permanent Records, he's a very, very good friend of mine. He just started making videos, and so give him a follow as well. Great wealth of knowledge. He knows more about records than I probably ever will. And he's like giving some really good stuff out, just knowledge wise, on his channel. And so he's recently gotten really active with it. So definitely follow him. And then Jazz Bums. At some point this year, I talked to them and could possibly, maybe one day they'll have me on their channel. Who knows? But great channel there as well. Number 12, show a record that you bought when you were a teenager. I bought this Bob Seger, Beautiful Loser, when I was in high school. Me and my cousin listened to it all the time, and we didn't know anything about anything. We just liked this record a lot. My aunt actually had a copy, I think, and then I searched everywhere for one. I wanted them so bad. Now it's just like whatever. But back then you couldn't buy stuff on the internet. It wasn't like that, I probably bought it for $1 somewhere, but still, it took me forever to find it. I never sold it just because it was not really worth anything. It's worth $10 or less. But this is a very underrated record. Maybe it's just because I love it so much. It has so much sentimental value to me, but it is an absolute fantastic record. Beautiful Loser, Bob Seger, great stuff. Number 13, show a funk or soul record. This one I haven't shown in a little bit. This one is my favorite funk soul record in my whole collection, the Montgomery Express. Really incredible band led by 2 blind dudes and a group of high school students that played funk. And so you got these sweet soul singers with these high school funk musicians. I bought this from a very, very, very good friend of mine. It's super rare. This is an impossibly clean copy. But this is an absolute funk grail. It is my favorite one. I love this record so much. This next one was show a record that everybody has and then show a record that nobody has. So everybody has AC/DC Back in Black. I tried to pick a cool one that this is a promo and everything. Usually with the common records, I like to get a promo. And then a record that nobody has. I just got this as well recently. And I've never met anyone who has one, and I actually didn't even know about it. And somebody reached out, really nice guy, that watches the channel, and he let me buy it from him. This is a record called Rusty, and all the labels are handwritten. So this band was from the UK, and they basically would tour around, and they made like 100 of these handmade covers. This is like a picture pasted on the cover. Super rare, very, very, very good record. I've listened to it a bunch since I got it, but it's just one that I doubt many people have. It's handmade cover, and it's that early 70s kind of hard rock as well. So let's see, number 15, a record by a female artist that you bought in 2023. You guys are going to laugh at me. I do not give a crap. This is Miley Cyrus, Plastic Hearts. This is a great record. Don't come at me, y'all. I know that you'd be surprised to think that I would listen to this. This is a great record. I really think incredible vocalist. If you talking about like the modern female vocalist, you know, like Taylor Swift, sure, great songwriter, whatever, decent voice, whatever. She's got the best voice in the female vocal department right now, I think, in my opinion. But it's a good record. I really actually listened to that record quite a few times this year. I like it a lot. 16, favorite video you posted on your channel in 2023. And the favorite video that you watched from the VC in 2023. So my favorite video that I posted all year, I think, is my room tour. I put in so much work to get that done. Mainly the biggest part of the job was getting my room clean, because it's just like there's records everywhere all the time. Like I come in with a crate and I drop a crate and I'm putting stuff on whatnot and I'm doing it. So there's always little boxes and records and mess everywhere. Even now there is, you know, but I worked really hard to get my room right because I felt like that video is going to be a good depiction of my room. I might do another one in another 3 years or something, but that's kind of to show you guys my space, you know, that kind of lets you in on the intimate parts of my life to where you can see where I live and where the room I work out of and how my brain works. So that is my favorite video that I did. And I did it with my good friend Chris. He did a fantastic job on the video. It's probably the most well-produced video that I've done all year or ever, maybe. That was my favorite one. The first one that comes to mind of this was like my favorite video that I saw in the vinyl community, and the one I hated the most because I was so jealous. But there's a guy, his channel is called Tuco, the Vintage Vinyl Hunter. Now, the name of the video was Shocking What I Found There, the Vinyl Record Motherlode. And he had a few videos, like 3 or 4 or 5 or something, but he had found or heard about this like I don't know, it looked like there was like 100,000 records in this collection, and they were selling off records and people were just coming in it. I don't know how much they were selling them for, but it looked like they were getting them for dirt cheap. And it was like all this rare psych and stuff. Like me watching it, I was like, where is this? I mean, it was across the country somewhere, but if I had known about it, I would have flown out to see it, because it was just like mind-blowing stuff, and all the stuff that he got, I was just drooling, man. I mean, just unreal. But like I said, he went back several times. I think he's got like 4 or 5 videos on it. But that first one, it's like an hour long, but I was just like glued to it. And he actually flipped past this Fafner record, which is this record called Fafner, P-H-A-F-N-E-R. And it's like a $5,000 record, and he has a video of him just flipping past it. He didn't get it, you know, and like he did a video afterwards, like, I flipped past a $5,000 record. So anyways, it's a great video. You'll laugh, you'll cry, all that. 17, show a record that you would describe as a 90s classic. I was just listening to this the other day. Mad Season, Above, just an amalgamation of killer parts of the grunge scene in the 90s. It is so painfully good. Mad Season, Above. 18, if you could walk into the cover, look through your collection and choose a record for a record cover that you'd like to be a part of. Now, I picked 2 for this. The first one I picked was this, you know, wouldn't you just love to hop in one of those little cars and race one of these fellers. That looks like a lot of fun. But this one more is my taste. I do not like the beach. Don't ever go to the beach. You might be thinking, Dylan, why would you pick this album? Because when I was a kid, I really liked walking and looking for shark teeth. It was the most peaceful thing. I loved it. It was such a huge part of my childhood, and I don't get to do it anymore. Just because I got kids of my own. Anytime that we go to the beach once in a blue moon, I'm chasing after them. There's just no way I'm going to be quietly walking on the beach looking for shark's teeth. But I just felt like I had such mental clarity, and like sometimes in my angsty teenage years, I just was able to clear my head, and that thrill of the hunt's always been with me, whether it's been shark's teeth or, you know, records or whatever. It's always just a part of my brain. I was talking to my mom about that today. Anyways, number 19, it's like a greatest hits. Show a record you're so familiar with that it feels like a greatest hits. The first one that came to mind is Danzig. Danzig 1. Fantastic stuff. And then 20, show an album that was released in 1974. This is another one that I just recently got. This is McDonald and Sherby, Catharsis. This is a fantastic, crazy, mind-bending, psychedelic record. These guys just look like they really know how to party. This one also could have been a contestant for an album cover I love to walk onto, because who knows what shenanigans these guys are getting into. But this is a still sealed copy. I had another copy, which I still actually have it, but it was just destroyed. Terrible, worst possible copy. So this one I got, it was sealed from a friend of mine. Excited to open it up and take it for a spin. So again, if you guys are not a part of the vinyl community, you haven't started a channel or anything like that, this is a great way to jump in. If you kind of have writer's block and you can't figure out, this is another one to get the ball rolling, all that stuff. I love the community behind YouTube. I just hit 100,000 subscribers, which is absolutely insane to me. I'm gonna make a video about that. But anyways, we're having fun. Happy 2024. Hope you guys are killing it.